In the last video we made on the Kinefinity Mavo Edge, we focused down on the actual camera body itself. But a large part of what makes Kinefinity cameras so interesting is the whole ecosystem around them. Over the last few years, Kinefinity have made huge changes to the products that surround their camera bodies, with new lens mounts, hugely improved new monitoring options, new battery systems, new cages, new media. The list goes on and on. Now there's too much for me to cover properly in one video. So for this video, let's just concentrate on the bits that are of specific interest to the Edge. Kinefinity's interchangeable lens mount system has been one of the biggest draws to the brand from the start, and the Edge keeps the same system. Swapping your mount is as easy as changing a lens. Just turn this big red lever and it comes right off. They do an EF mount, a PL mount, an LPL mount, and an E mount. So let's look at each in turn. This EF mount is their new Mark III version, which is a huge improvement over the previous Mark II version, although still not perfect, unfortunately. The older Mark II ones were quite fiddly to use. You had to hold them in place very precisely and then turn the locking ring to secure the lens. And if the lens actually turned while you were locking that locking ring, which was definitely possible, you could misalign the pins and not get lens communication, or at worst, even damage your lens. With this Mark III version, all of those issues are gone. We now have a very easy rotation system, just like on most other EF mounts on Canon cameras, for example. It is fast, easy to do one-handed, and it always aligns the lens perfectly. Now there's still a ring, but this just tightens the lens down in place so that there's no wobble on it at all. And that's really important for when you're using lens control systems, of course. The only bit I don't like so much, which is why I say they're still not quite perfect, is the actual button to release the lens again. If you push it in the right way, it works great. But too much down to one side and it won't actually release the lens. So there's a little bit of a knack to using it and pushing it in the right way. But overall, the Mark III versions are just a huge improvement. Not only do I recommend new customers go for these over the older ones, I'd say it's worth upgrading from those Mark IIs to these new Mark IIIs as well if you already have a Kinefinity camera. Now the PL and the LPL mounts are of course very simple, as all PL mounts are. They do support Cook's eye technology protocol as well though, if your lens does support that, and having LPL as an option is of course excellent for higher end sets. And there's then the E mount, which is a very popular choice. It's only manual, as it has to be so thin that there's just no space to put any electronics for lens control in there. So you can't really use this with G Master stills lenses or Sigma's E mount ones, for example, which is a shame. You just won't get lens control and iris control at all. But it's still a very popular choice because there's a decent amount of fantastic manual E mount lenses on the market now. The two video ports on the front of the Edge are a specific video connector designed by Kinefinity, which powers video and power to Kinefinity's own range of monitors. Now there's four to choose from. This 5-inch Kinemon 5U, which is 2000 nits brightness. There's then two 7-inch models of this, the 1000 nits Kinemon 7H and the 2000 nits Kinemon 7U. And then there's the Kine EVF, which is one of the smallest and lightest EVFs on the market. All of these are 1080p displays, and using them makes a huge difference to how nice the Edge is to use. You can of course use the Edge with any SDI monitors of your choice, but the Kinefinity ones are just a much more streamlined experience. They're very low latency, they turn on and off with the camera, they use the video ports on the front to keep your SDIs free, and the 7U will even give you an element of camera control as well, because it can start and stop recording and lets you control playback, which is nice. The Kinefinity EVF deserves a specific mention though. In my opinion, if you get yourself an Edge, you should really get one of these. It is a great quality viewfinder with an easy to use diopter on it, and it turns on and off with the camera. It just feels like part of the camera rather than an extra product hanging on the side. The monitoring range as a whole is very worth it, but if you only go for one item, I'd say go for this EVF. Kinefinity have partnered with Mavo to co-design and make specific cages to sell alongside their cameras for a few years now. But with this one that they've made for the Edge, they've really taken this up to the next level. This is sold as a separate product, or you can get it in the Pro package of the camera, and it's one product that in my opinion is well worth going for. It has 5 main parts to it. There's a top plate, which is pretty straightforward really, gives you plenty of mounting points, including some with Arri style anti-twist locking pins. Onto this you can attach their fantastic mini EVF and monitor mount here. Now this is a very simple small arm which holds your EVF or your 5-inch monitor to the side of the camera. It's based on this friction system, so it's very easy to adjust as needed. It can be tightened if needed as well, and it has a quick release wedge on one end as well, so it's very quick to swap between the EVF and the 5-inch monitor. You see they've actually got this mount for the quick release system designed onto the actual product themselves. This isn't on the 7-inch monitors, it's only on the 5-inch and the Kinemon EVF, so the 7-inch ones can't be mounted here on the side, but swapping between that 5-inch monitor and the EVF is incredibly easy, and importantly there's no extra parts to lose, which is nice. There's then a NATO rail and a top handle, which is very nicely designed, but nothing hugely different to what you would expect. You can attach a 15mm rod for top mounted lens control units. There's several cold shoe mounts, another 15mm rod hole along the top that runs horizontally, and there's lots of mounting points, including Arri style ones as well. And the handle itself is just metal, but it is quite comfortable to hold, even when the camera is fully rigged up like this. Along the side is a simple side cage with an Arri rosette in the middle for attaching any handles of your choice. And then we get to the base plate. And the base plate is definitely the most interesting part. Firstly, it's a normal base plate with mounting points and a dovetail system on the bottom. There's 3 capacitive screws which align perfectly with the bottom of the camera, and there's space for 2 15mm rods at the front for your lens control systems, lens supports, matte boxes, anything like that. That's all the normal base plate functionality that you would expect. But then there's these pins which pass power to the camera, and there's space inside for 2 of their GripBat 2S batteries. This is designed to be a UPS system, or uninterruptible power supply. So take the battery off for whatever reason while you're filming, by accident or just to change the battery of course, and the camera's going to stay powered on and powered from those batteries in the base plates. These GripBats are 26 watt hours each, so 2 of them should power the camera for well over an hour, which isn't too bad at all. You could even use this by itself for some situations if you want to, because you'll get over an hour of power, although you will have to have 2 of these batteries in the base plate at all times because they only provide 7.4 volts each, which is not enough to power the camera with just 1 battery. So overall, the Edge works with 3 styles of battery. You have the MPF style GripBat 2S batteries, which go inside the Kinekit Edge base plate, just like we've discussed. And then you have the hybrid battery plate on the back of the camera, which can take either regular VLOX or BPU style ones, like this GripBat 4S. These are the same batteries which they used inside the side grip on their previous cameras. But of course, any BPU style batteries will work. For VLOX, again, anything of course will work, but Kinefinity do actually make their own as well, which are really quite nice. This is the Kinebat PD150, and they also make a 75 model, which is the same size, but half as thick. These are of course perfectly matched in terms of dimensions to the Kinefinity cameras. They sit very nice and flush, and are actually very small batteries considering their storage capacities. So, like I said at the start, Kinefinity really do have a whole ecosystem around their cameras. This setup here is entirely designed by Kinefinity. It's their camera with their monitor, their viewfinder attached, all held together by their cage system. It's powered from their batteries, recording onto their media. You could even be using their lenses if we wanted to as well. This might seem like overkill, but we're actually just looking here at the Pro package which Kinefinity sell. The only thing here which isn't included in that package is the lens and the lens mounts, because of course you want to be able to choose which ones you want there and buy those separately. But by buying this simple Pro package, it gets you the camera, 2 media drives, the Kinefinity system as a cage, the EVF, a 5-inch monitor with 2000 nits brightness, 2 V-locks, 2 of each style of grip bats as well, plus a whole load of extra accessories. It's everything that you need, and it's a very streamlined camera package, all working together exactly the way Kinefinity have designed it to. If you have any questions at all, of course, just let me know in the comment section down below. And if you want to buy any of these accessories for yourself, then head over to proev.co.uk with the link in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.